Stop motion is a technique almost as old as film itself. In recent years, there's been a trend in Christmas advertising to use the art of stop motion to tell magical, festive stories. From John Lewis's Bear and the Hare, the BBC's The Supporting Act, to more recent examples like Loewe's An Otter's Tale. The campaign explores why stop motion is so popular in Christmas advertising.
So stop frame animation is an animation technique where you use inanimate objects and make a picture for every single frame. So like one moving image consists of 25 frames per second. If someone's waving, you do a little bit of that motion, and then you take a picture, and then you do another one, and then at the end you make an inanimate object, a living object. It's kind of magical. It's also a lot of work. I think it tells like quite delicate stories very well. The Christmas feeling kind of brings across really well because there's so much attention to detail and so much detail in how it's been made, and I can see how that fits really well of the Christmas world.
Stop frame animation as a technique is very controlled. Like every single element of what you're doing is hand built. So from the set design, the art direction, the actual puppets themselves are all built by a specialist team. I start working with a character designer to actually generate concept art of what she's going to look like. That then goes through a kind of design phase where we tweak certain things like the size of our eyes, the proportion of our head, all those little things. My favourite thing is probably the nuance in the duckling's performance that we were able to get. The subtleties in her, the way her eyelids were moving and her eyes and brow. She had little paddles inside her head which allowed for her eyebrows to move up and down. That really subtle, nuanced kind of movement, I think, gave her real kind of charm and made her feel very, very alive, which is why stop frame animation, I think, was the perfect medium for this story.
There are more and more stop motion films than ever before, but now, you might have 3 going on at one time, which is quite amazing, really, and it's sort of really allowed the stop motion world to be involved in a lot more projects than they were before. I have found even in sort of the advertising world, people want that kind of look. I mean, one of the ones that I'll always sort of hold very highly was the BBC Christmas ad, where it was a real kind of opportunity to show off as an animator as well. That was really interesting as well because it was heavily choreographed, so we had some really great reference footage, which is something else which has become more used, I guess, is using reference imagery to work out how to animate something.
You really get like this tactileness and this craft element. It's almost like an extra layer in the performance, so you see the film, but behind the film there's a whole world of like craft and like skills that have gone into it. You can create the full world how you imagine it to be. Like every leaf on a tree you can create how you think it should look, and that kind of control is pretty cool as well. I think with stop motion, I think it is timeless. Maybe it makes you think of how things were made before. Makes you a bit nostalgic, maybe. I think that's a nice quality to play with. That's what kind of stop motion has that CG doesn't have. It kind of stays timeless. Yeah, there's so many ways it still can be explored. I hope it's gonna go on for a bit, at least.